It's not really raining cats and dogs. What's it doing? It's raining hard. But if you weren't from here and you heard somebody say, girl, it's raining cats and dogs, you'd be like, what in the world? But for those of us who know what that means, you're like, no. That's not what he's really saying. If somebody says, you spilled the beans, what's that mean? Pull it all out. Y'all be like, what is the other one? Drink the tea or spill the tea? That's all y'all better be spilling. Anyway, but then there's cultural things. There's foods, there's things that you say that are in your culture that if you don't understand it, you would be like, Let me give you an example. If you don't understand this and you're around a table of people eating dinner at somebody's house and then somebody said, girl, you done put your foot in these greens. Can you imagine the person who is not familiar with that? Wait, what are we doing? Wait, we put foot in, what happened? What happened? So we got feet in, okay, that's how y'all do it, okay. But somebody else gonna mean, what does that mean? If you put your foot in the greens, they're good. But that's based on what you know. What does this mean? Wow, slap the black out of you. Now, you're not gonna really slap, not that mamas have not tried. Right? But no, what it means is like you acting up, you about to get one of these, right? So the words may mean something else. Somebody say something else, and I'll put my foot up, you're blessed the Lord. Right? But you're not gonna really put your foot up. Now, some of y'all have tried. And some of y'all telling me right now, no, I did put my foot up. That's why you need to come to church right now. But what I need you to understand is the words can mean something different. So when I first hear I'm running for my life, it can sound desperate. It can sound like, I'm out of here. I'm doing my best. It can sound hopeless. It can actually sound like I might die at any moment. I'm talking to some of you who are on journeys that you feel like you almost about to die. You almost feel like you're about to give up. You're in a situation, you're looking in mirrors saying, I don't even recognize myself. Because you're running from a place of desperation. But what I want you to use is flip that to be a phrase that we use today when I'm saying I'm running for my life. Not running for my life from a hopeless place, but I'm running for my life to win the prize. No, I'm running for my life because of my purpose. I'm running for my life because of my next chapter. Girl, I'm not just out here running. Bro, I'm not just out here running. I'm running for a purpose. Why do I get up early and go to school? Because I got purpose at the other side of this. Why are you working on your craft like you are? Because, girl, I got purpose. You don't understand. It's not about what's going on today. It's about what's coming up. I'm not running just to survive. I'm running to get somewhere. See, I'm coming to help some of you who are feeling like, I don't know what's going on. But if you don't switch your mindset, you'll be running out of breath and just, girl, I'm just getting by. What's going on? These are two different phone calls I get. Pastor, pray for me. Pastor, pray for me. Same phrase mean two different things. Pray for me. I'm out here in these streets, Pastor. It's hard out here. Oh, for a brother out here. Okay. But somebody else, Pastor, pray for me because I got something working. What I'm challenging you to do is start to run for your life for the reason that you're still alive. And if you've got breath in your body right now, there's still some type of purpose. So what I want you to do is be encouraged today to change how you're thinking about things. Because here's what it says in 1 Corinthians 9:24. It says, don't you realize that in a race everyone runs, but only one person gets the prize? So run to win. Can I tell you something? Stop going to work like you don't want to get promoted. If I follow y'all somewhere to work, I'll be wondering what kind of Christian you look like. You show up at work talking about, I don't want to be here either. Not you. Run like you want to win this thing. Go and get your name with the state for your company you've been talking about for 4 years. It's mighty quiet in this Presbyterian church this morning. It says to you, so run to win. Stop just running races. Get up today and tomorrow, no, I'm in this to win this thing. It says all athletes are disciplined in their training. They do it so they do it to win a prize that will fade away. The regular people, the people running in the Olympics, that medal is going to fade away. But we do it for an eternal prize, so I run with purpose in every step. How many steps? So that means you can't take a day off right now. Somebody, just last night, we were at an event. They've invited me to something. I know they watch online, so I'm not going to call you out, but we talked about this. And they were like, hey, we want you and Pastor Jori to come to this thing. He said, but I need half Pastor Chris and half Thibodeaux. Thibodeaux was my name growing up. He was like, I need a little Thibodeaux. I said, what you mean? He said, I want part Jesus. Y'all the safest church I've ever known. He was like, I don't want all Jesus when we go on this trip together. It's his 50th birthday. And I was like, bro, I can't separate the two. He was like, so you're just going to be PC I said, I'm going to be Pastor Chris both sides. I said, I'm going to get it when we go to the club. Don't get it. No. I'm dancing with my wife, though. I'm dancing with my wife. No, but my point is, I said, man, I got too much stuff going on. I ain't got time to be taking some steps in a different direction. See, if I'm in the process of going to where God's calling me, but then I keep going back and doing this, but then I'm going over here, I'm not gaining ground, not because God ain't doing nothing. I'm not gaining ground because I'm not staying the course and keeping the steps to keep moving. Are you not where you need to be because of God or where you are? So I run with purpose in every step. I'm not just shadow boxing. You know what shadow boxing is? You just at a wall. No, get in a ring and fight something. Y'all fought somebody last week. I'm just saying. But you know what I have to do? I have to discipline my body. Like an athlete, training it to do what it should. Otherwise, I fear that after preaching to others, I myself might be disqualified. This is one of the most fearful lines as a pastor. That I can stand up here and preach to you and help you get up out your grave and God bring you back and do something amazing, and then I lose my life. Then my children go to hell because I'm too busy helping you get your kids in heaven. So it has to be a choice that we have to make every day as well. So what I want you to switch to say, tell somebody, I'm running for my good life. Now tell somebody, say, I'm running for my good life. See, we've gone from just talking about I'm running for my life to now I'm running for my life. Now I'm running for my. Now y'all so holy. Who wants a good life? Let me help you out. A good life is a life of luxury. I'm talking when the Chanel bag don't have 3 ends in it. I'm talking. You know when people be having a polo and I be like, it look real. His foot up though. That's the only problem. It almost look real. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You know when the polo guy is off the horse, I'm like, bro, it's not. He's supposed to be on it. It's a little off. But it's all right. Do you, Olo, do you. The good life is pleasure. I want to live a life of pleasure, not turmoil. A life of material comfort. You can be all spiritual and deep yourself. I'm good with Gucci and Jesus. But also the good life is a way of living that is moral and satisfying and worthwhile. This is the life you want to live. Because come on, you know when you've gotten something the wrong way, it's not even as enjoyable when you get it the right way. And when you have worked really hard and you win a prize and you earn the opportunity, it feels good when you win the prize and you stand on stage and you're like, man, no, I did this. You're running for that good life. Is that right? So here's the issue. Now, you can't run without strength. So what I want to talk about for just a few minutes is check your spiritual diet. Because see, when you don't have the right nutrition, it's called being malnutrition. Malnutrition is a lack of proper nutrients or caused by not having enough to eat. See, when you come and see Jesus on Easter and Christmas, I'm happy. You just a hungry somebody. And you're weak. So then while you're living life, you're like, man, every time some stuff is happening, because you don't have nothing to fight back with. But when those of you who have been eating a spiritual diet that's good, when something hits you, you say, although a weapon may be formed against me, it won't prosper. When stuff hits you, when you got some strength to you, you go, yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm not going to fear this thing. But see, if you're not eating the right thing, then you're going to put yourself in a situation where you don't have the strength for it. But it's too late to find out in a fight that you can't fight. I'm going to let y'all think about that. It's too late after you said, hit me, come on, bring it, do bop, 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 bop. You're like, oh, I can't fight. That's not when you want to find out. Now, y'all know I grew up in places where people didn't do all the things holy. So there used to be this thing, I was very fast. I mean, I could run. So I'm not saying I gambled. But what people would do is like, I got 20 on Chris. And then my mom would tell me, But I gave my tithe. Come on now. See y'all. But they would put money down on who was going to be the fastest. Like we played football or something. So we would race and be like, on your mark, get set. And I'd be, right? And then you win. And then you take the money and you'd be like, bye. Because there's one dude always say, he said, Thibodeaux, eat right. Because when I was eating wrong, I would throw up at track practice. So I recognized to run fast and to do certain things, I had to eat certain things. For you to run this race that God is calling you to run. You can't eat everybody's food. You can't go and sit at everybody's table. You can't go to everybody's club. Anyway, but you're not eating enough of the right things, unable to use the food that one does eat. That's what happens. So even if you're eating, you can't even process it right in your body. What this image on the screen shows you, it's the impact of what happens when you have malnutrition. You can lose weight. It affects your vision. It affects your breathing. It affects your ability to pay attention. The same thing happens in your spiritual life. You have woke up on a Monday morning excited about something. By Tuesday afternoon, you're done with it. Why? Because you don't have the strength to keep going. The first phone call when somebody says it's not going to work, you're done. But when you've got the thing in you, the strength in you, you fight for things. Here's a picture. Look at this. This is the same child. Same child. The only difference is they started feeding him the right food. On one side, he was fading, but he just didn't have access to the right stuff, and he wasn't eating the right stuff. I'm wondering what your spiritual picture looks like of you right now. Is your spiritual picture looking almost skeletonish? Because it's weakened because you are letting the life you're living drain you of the strength you have. And this is why I tell people all the time, who you kick it with matters. Because I tell people, I got a hard enough life sometimes by myself. I don't need you telling me I'm not going to make it. I don't need you telling me, oh, you don't look like it's getting any better. Thanks, bro. But what I need is somebody who is going to push me forward, who is going to challenge me, or who is going to say, hey, you got this. You can do this. You can make this. I wasn't going to talk about this, but for whatever reason, it's coming to my spirit. When I was running track in high school, I talked about this at my dad's funeral. I was at this track meet, and I was really fast. So I made varsity as a freshman. It's like regional finals. It's at Southwest High School. Anybody know where Southwest High School is? So it was at Southwest High School, and it was cold, really cold. This is springtime in Minnesota, which don't mean nothing, but it was cold, rainy. So, and you know, track shorts is short shorts. You got the little tank top on. So I was out here frigiding, right? And so my coach said, Chris, you can do this. This is it. You got to make this race work. But I was racing against everybody. It was a senior. Maybe there was one other junior. This was the final race. So we're all lined up. So I'm getting in my lane, getting ready for the race to start. And these dudes are doing all kinds of stuff. Jumping up and down, screaming, barking. And I'm like, what are we doing? Because I was new to it. I was the youngest one out there. And these dudes were looking at me like trying to intimidate me. I'm like, we ain't run yet. Why are you out of breath? Squatting and doing all kinds of stuff. And I was just kind of sitting there. And they were getting ready to say, on your mark. So I was getting ready to get in my place. And then out of nowhere, I hear this. Chris, you got this? Chris! I was like, what in the? Here's my dad. He at the other end, like the baseball field, leaning over the fence doing this. Chris! Chris, you got this! The moment he said it, it was food to my body. The minute I heard it, it snapped me. It was like somebody gave me something in my mouth and opened my mouth up, right? And then what I did, when I went down to run, and I could hear him yelling, go, 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 you got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. And then, poof, running. And it was a 200. The 200, you got to do a curve, and then you come to the straightaway. I was running. And I knew right here, I was like, I don't see nobody. You better recognize. You better recognize. That's why Pastor Jori praised me, because she said I had an ego. I was just letting people see me. So I was running like, and I had a curl too, so my curl was lifted. I was like, Me and this guy crossed the finish line almost at the exact same time. So then they said, and they recalled the race, and they couldn't tell exactly, because there ain't no photo finish, there ain't no cameras. So the judge called us back over, and he said, let me look at you guys. They were holding the rope so tight that it cut my face, like right across from here, and it cut him kind of back here. They looked at the scar to determine the winner. He said, well, no, it's on this young man's head, which means he must have come across the line first. What I'm coming to tell you is what you need is people who are going to feed you to push you further. Now, my dad has been in heaven almost 8 years. There are times, I promise you, I hear him saying, Chris! Chris! I'm saying, I'll be driving somewhere, I'll be like, oh. Dad? Because I'm still black. Dad? But it gives me the ability. What I'm asking you is who's screaming in your ear? Because it will give you a spiritual malnutrition. Part of your problem is not your vision, it's what you're eating. So that's why we tell people, it's not to come to church because you get an attendance card and we're going to give you something. We're telling you to come to church so you can get fed, so that you have this ability and the strength to move forward. So let me talk to you about some treatment steps. One, replace the missing nutrients. That means bring your tail. Come to church. Join us online. Right? I told people last week, we used to charge at the door. I was like, nah, you ain't free up in here. Pay right here. It was a 2-drink minimum at the door, and they were like, you can't do that as a pastor at a church. I had a bouncer. They were like, not a church pastor. Y'all not, okay. Anyway, a well-balanced diet must be consumed. Eat the food that you're given. Don't be up here going, I don't know. He said, eat it. Because you got stuff to do in life. The next thing about treatment is this. When you have malnutrition, treat underlying medical conditions. If I'm eating the right thing up here, but I'm not dealing with my unforgiveness in my heart, deal with it. You got all the songs. You know all the stuff. You save, but you got a bitter heart. You have a malnutrition because you got an inner problem we need to deal with. You got a habit that you know is holding you back from purpose. Come on. I mean, it's like a visual I have of some of us are pulling this way, but something is just yanking you back. What you got to do is say, I can't keep carrying something that's weighing me down and using up all my energy. If an underlying medical condition or medication has caused this malnutrition, then it must be treated to prevent ongoing loss. So if you start doing right, but you don't cut the other stuff out your life or deal with the underlying stuff, it's not going to help. Treatment step number 3 is monitor eating. What are you eating? That got mighty quiet going into Christmas season. I was going to call the Daniel fast this week, and it would have been mayhem. Wait, I know we're not doing it before Christmas. I'm eating my yams, and I love Family Life Center, but monitor eating habits. What are you consuming? What are you drinking? What are you smoking? I know it's from the earth and it's the herb. I understand. Put it back in the earth then. Let the earth have what it needs. Because folks can come up with all kinds of stuff. But it's medicinal. Spell it. If malnutrition occurs due to environmental, are you being malnourished because of the people you around and the environments you in? Are you around people like, you ever started like, let's do something? I ain't doing that. We're not going to do that. Nah. Have you ever been excited about doing something until somebody else says you're not? Come on, how many of us would have done better in school had we had different friends? Because you had 2 friends that couldn't spell algebra. Right? I wanted to do I grew up with, he always, but man, let's skip class. I was like, you'd have done me. I know how to read. I'm going to class. But he wanted all of us to be like, let's just go. We out. I was like, Remember that foot up your, I didn't want that at home. So I was like, I got to go to class. Is your malnutrition because of the environment? Is it financial? Is it physiology? Is it reasons? Ongoing supervision might be necessary. You may need to put some people in your life to watch you. You may need some accountability. Don't go sit at no bakery talking about, I'm going to lose weight. See, I'm telling you, when I first moved to Hampton, Virginia for college, I'd never heard, this is like 1990s, I'd never heard of Krispy Kreme. It was like an East Coast thing. And some friends were like, we're going to go to Krispy Kreme. I was like, okay, I don't know what that is. And then we were driving up, and this dude from Jori said, oh, the red light's on. And they were on the red light's on. You know, you act like you know, so I was like, red light, what? What we talking about, what? I had no idea. Tore them donuts up. Fast forward now. I have been places, I told y'all this, and I see the red light, I'll be like, the devil is a liar. You know what they do at Krispy Kreme? You know what they do? You know what they do? You walk in talking about, you want one? They give you a free donut. So I be trying to live right, and they be walking in, have y'all seen this? They dip it fresh and be holding on the stick. Want one? No, I don't want one. I don't want none. Nah, 18 donuts later. What I need you to understand is you may need supervision. You may need some people around you to help you stay accountable to stay saved. It is quiet in the salvation market. You may need some people around you to help you stay saved. You may need some people around you to help you live holy. You need to treat your malnutrition, so you need to interrupt this problem, this diet. You need to interrupt it. Now, how many of you all want something from God? How many of y'all got dreams and visions bigger than what you're seeing right now? Come on, how many of y'all have a dream of something, right? I don't care if it's longer hair. What you want? I'm telling y'all, God gonna do something. I'm gonna come back after Christmas and be like, you're gonna be like, he got braids, girl. You got to interrupt some stuff. That means stop the continuous progress of spiritual, physical, or mental fatigue. Okay? So what I want to talk to you about now, I've talked about treatment. I'm going to give you some diet restrictions. I'm going to help you with your diet. Tell somebody it's time to interrupt. So the first thing we're going to talk about, since I'm running for my life, it's time to interrupt this. It's too big. Oh, I would love to do that, but it's too big. There's no way I'm going to be on TV. There's no way my business is going to grow. There's no way I can move into that house. There's no way I can get into that college. It's too big. But here's what the Bible says. I tell you the truth, said Jesus, who was talking to his disciples. You can say to this mountain, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. But you must really believe it will happen and have no doubt in your heart that it will happen. And Jesus says, I tell you, you can pray for anything, and if you believe that you received it, it will be yours. The next time you're saying something is too big, what I want you to say is, not for God. Let me say it again. The next time you feel like something is too big, I want you to say what? So if I'm with God, then I'm okay to do this. What I need you to realize, it says, I tell you the truth, you can say to this mountain. You know the reason he said that to the disciples? Because he wanted to give them a visual thing that seemed impossible. So I believe he literally was probably standing on a mountain. You see that big old thing? Like, how could somebody move a mountain? How could you do that? He was like, that's how big it is. To everyone who's facing something that seems like it's blocking your life, something that's too big. Yes, my whole family's done this. It's in my family lineage. I've always had this issue. Talk to that mountain, and look what it says. Look how much is up to you. May you believe. It says, may you be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and it will happen. But you must really believe it. Who's got to believe it? Who's got to believe it? Okay, so it says you must believe it. And it will happen. So when you believe it, what? It will happen. But you must really believe it will happen and have what? So you got to believe. This is believe. Everybody say believe. Believe. No doubt. No doubt. Believe. Believe. no doubt. So this is what you need to do. The next time you praying, you got to put believe up, put no doubt up, and then bring your hands together. So when you're praying, you're like, nope. But let me tell you something. If you ain't got this done, you can get off your knees. Because it's not, then you mad at God. And God's like, I told you what has to happen. You got to believe and you can't doubt. And he says, then I tell you the truth, it's going to happen for you. Tell somebody, now I got the recipe. Next thing, interrupt, I might get hurt. Some of y'all like, I'm not doing it because what if I get hurt? What if this don't work out? What if I get embarrassed? What if people find out? What if I put it on Facebook and it don't come true? What if I put it on the gram and people laugh at me? Let me help you. See, what I've given you is safe passage. This is what the Bible says. As you walk on snakes and scorpions and protection from every assault of the enemy, no one can put a hand on you. What I need you to understand is, remember I talked about this road that God has already put stuff. He's already put protection down the road. You got to get to the protection part. You're living in the open part. You're living in the dream part. You're living in the fantasy part. This idea is in my heart. I know I can do this. And he's like, I got it all set up down here. Come over here. Come over here. I got you. Come on. And you over there. God said, no, I'm down here. Come on, come on. I got you. I got you. I got the money. I got people. I got stuff set up. What if boardrooms are waiting for you? What if contracts are sitting on the top of you with your name on it? If they say, if they could get here, I'm hoping they show up. God's going to protect you through the process. Now, you might be saying, Pastor, where are we living? Where are we on snakes and scorpions? How many of y'all got some snakes and scorpion relatives? You just thought of right there. You thought, that's Pookie. That's what you're thinking about, right? What my point is, it doesn't matter who's against you. It's not going to work. Running for my life, it's time to interrupt. I'm not strong enough. Anybody ever felt like you weak? Anybody felt like giving up? Yeah, especially in this season. It says this, you are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. Well, Pastor, what's the world? Anybody who's not with God. Anybody trying to push you back. Anybody trying to challenge you. What you say on the inside is greater is he that's in me. Well, how are you going to do this? Greater is he that's in me. How does that not happen? Greater is he that is in me. You've got to believe this. You got to get this in your heart. You got to be able to interrupt the thoughts. It's not going to work. It's never going to happen. Reverse. It is going to happen because God is greater. He's bigger. He lives in me. Somebody asked me once about my business. They said, you going on Shark Tank? I said, not till I'm a shark. Like 8 of y'all, help the others. You see somebody looking confused right now, say, I'll tell you after church. I'll tell you after church. Running for my life. It's time to interrupt. The thief. Can you imagine, have you anybody interrupted a thief before? Somebody stealing something, you're like, and you're like, oh, I'm sorry. You ever caught a kid in the middle of doing something they're not supposed to do? I wasn't going to. Your mouth was on the cookie. Talking about you wasn't going to. It's time for you to interrupt the thief. Because it says this in John 10. It says, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. But I, Jesus says, I come that you may have life and have it to the full. One translation says, and have life more abundantly. I'm wondering, who's ready to live an abundant life? I'm asking you, are you ready to live an abundant life? Have you gotten to the position in the last 10 minutes to go, yeah, now that he's talking about this, I am ready. Can I tell you something else? I cannot come live your life for you. I can't. Jesus cannot come and live your life for you. He is waiting on you to go do this thing. He's waiting for you in deals. He's waiting for you in boardrooms. He's waiting for you in production studios. He's waiting on you. He's got people lined up. It's part of his promise. Where are you? Well, I tried to get started. Somebody stole my stuff. He said, but I came to give you life. Don't worry about what somebody stole. True story. I'm dealing with somebody right now who I have, after doing some investigation, I done figured out some stuff, and I was like, this joker was basically stealing from me. And I wanted to lay hands on him. Repeatedly and suddenly. But then I got to live what I'm preaching. And I had to make a decision not to focus on the thief, but focus on the one who's going to bring it back to me. And stop being holy. You know when you find out somebody been stealing from you, how do you respond? I was like, wait, what? I was like, no, wait. So, no. And the person who was helping me understand it was looking like, because I stayed pretty much here. I'm really calm. I can kind of manage my emotions. In that momento, I was ready to go. I was ready to knock him out. And y'all was gonna see in the news, pastor on the news, knocking out, remember, no, don't do it. But I had to make a decision to focus not on the thief. Some of y'all are focused on what you've lost, not what you can gain. Stop that today. All right, last couple things I want to talk about, running for my life. It's time to interrupt. How much longer? Some of y'all been like, I've been doing this though, Pat. I've been trying. Anybody feel like giving up running? Now, I'll take 6 of y'all in the parking lot and say, do a lap. You're going to be around the first 2 cars like, whoo, I don't know, Pat. You something else, Pat. I'm going to let them kids do it. Some of you are doing the same thing with your dreams. You good the first 2 weeks. Woo, so I like my old job. How much longer? One of my favorite scriptures in Amos, it says this, yes, indeed, it won't be long now. The king has made a decree on your life. Things are getting ready to happen so fast for you. Your head is getting ready to swim. I've come to make a declaration. I've come to read a bulletin from the news. I've come to tell you what's coming up. This is what's so funny to me. Now, you can go get your palm read and believe them. I see humans with feet walking towards you. What else you see? So why you can believe that and not believe God? Things are going to happen so fast your head will swim. One thing fast on the heels of the other. You won't be able to keep up. Everything will be happening at once. Everywhere you look, blessing. Come on, everybody look this way. Look that way. Look that way. Blessing. Look behind you. Blessing. Look to the other side. Look at me. Look that way. Look behind you. Look over there. Look at me. Can you imagine every time you get out the house, everywhere you look, there's a blessing? Either you believe this thing about God or you don't. I've come to tell you, he's done it in my life too many times. Everywhere you look, and he said, and you won't be able to keep up. I'm believing over these next 3 weeks, stuff's getting ready to happen so much. You're going to tell people, push that business into 2024. That's too many opportunities. I can't do all of it. I wish I could. That's what we're praying is going to happen over the next 3 weeks. Before this year is out, we're expecting blessings to happen on your life. He said, I'll make everything right again for people. God said, I'll make everything right again. He said, I'll rebuild your ruined cities. See, for some of y'all, it's like, man, stuff fell apart. God's saying, I'll rebuild the relationship. I'll rebuild your broken heart. For those of you who need a transplant, he is doing a heart transplant over the next 3 weeks. You're going to forgive some people. You're going to let some sadness go. You're going to go to another place. You're going to change your position. I'm going to just go to this last thing. At the end of my race, this is what Apostle Paul wrote to the church when he was getting older, and he just said, here's what I'm going to say at the end. I have fought the good fight, and I have finished the race, and I've kept the faith. There ain't nothing worse to me than regret. Ain't nothing worse than I wish I would have pushed a little harder. I wonder what if. What I want you to do is take that out. Open yourself up to what God is getting ready to do in your life. Come on, let's open ourselves up. Musicians, you can come. Open yourself up. Come on, open yourself up to the possibility of what God can do. Come on, open yourself up what God can do in your life. Come on, open your heart up and go, God, I'm believing. This man got me thinking. Maybe I can overcome. No, I will win. No, I'm not going to stop running. No, I'm not going to throw in the towel. No, greater is he that lives in me. No, the God that is on my side is greater. No, I can overcome this problem. This is my season to win. This is my season to overcome. This is my time. This is my moment. I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to miss it. You got to talk to yourself. Come on, it is time for us to break some of this stuff. God got me up this morning. He made me change some of this because I know some of you on roads you don't deserve. I know you're fighting battles you didn't think are fair. But he's like, don't focus on that right now. Focus that I'm a savior. He knows how to swoop in and grab you. He knows. He says, if you think he's taking care of sparrows and birds, you don't think he's going to take care of you? He says, I dress lilies in the fields every day. You think you need to worry about you? But it's a choice now. The Bible also says, choose ye this day whom you will serve. Now, let me tell you what's worse. Is next month, when stuff's not happening, you're going to hear these words. And don't you do this prayer. God, where are you at? He's going to be like, I was in that message. Well, why isn't things happening? Because you're not moving. He's down here. You got to get to where God is so you can get the blessing he has for you. Did you get anything out the word this morning?